Funding for this program is provided in part by the Minnesota Arts and Cultural Heritage Fund and the citizens of Minnesota.
I'm Danielle Teal, your host for Our Town, the podcast, a KSMQ Public Television show. We talk about all that's happening in Rochester, events, businesses, organizations come on the show and find out a little bit more details of what's going on. And today we have Brandon Helgeson from Rochester Fest. He's the executive director for it, and he's here to talk about what's going down with the annual week-long event. Welcome, Brandon.
Well, first of all, thank you for having me, and I'm excited to be here talking about the return of Rochester Fest.
Yes.
After being off for a year, it seemed like it's a lifetime, but we're back.
Yeah, we actually connected a couple months ago, and details were still in the planning stage about what was going to happen. Refresh our memory about kind of how last year was and what's going down for this year.
Obviously last year was right in the middle of a pandemic, so it was the first time ever we had to cancel Rochester Fest, and I was a very new, had a little bit more hair on my head, executive director for Rochester Fest. And obviously we had to cancel, just for safety and everything else that was going on. So part of that, though, is it allowed us to learn a few things. We learned how to do some different virtual type things, some drive-in type things. And some of those things we've now been able to apply to a live in-person Rochester Fest. So I think you're going to see a couple new things at Rochester Fest you wouldn't have maybe associated with it before, but we're excited to bring not only the traditional things back, but those new items as well.
Cool. We'll dig into that a little bit, but okay, share all the details first. When does it kick off?
So it starts this Saturday, June 19th.
This Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, it came upon us really quickly.
I know, and you were joking about we were in the planning stage back there. I still feel like I'm in the planning stage.
Right.
I'm still thinking I'm going to get this done
Saturday.
And these extra things. So
cool. What's happening for the first day?
So the first day, we've got a pretty full slate. It starts with breakfast on the farm out at the She Knoll Farm. The Sheehan's, great group of people. Breakfast on the farm's been a long standing thing or a long part of Rochester Fest. Chris Cakes, if you've never seen Chris Cakes, you need to get out there and try to catch a pancake from them. So that starts early in the morning. And
hold on, Brandon. You do know that I'm like the pancake throwing queen. I do that with my kids. We have pancake Sundays where I actually throw the pancakes. So that's really cool. I'll have to do a battle with this person.
I would, I think that would be a great idea. My money's on you. I'm just saying, he's good.
My money's on myself too, because I've been doing it a long time. Just kidding. Cool. So that's happening. What else?
So and there is the cool thing about that is there's a bus leaving from the Mayo High School South parking lot. So if you don't want to drive out to the farm, you want to catch a bus that runs for about 3 or 4 hours. I think it starts at 6:30, runs till 10:30. Other things we have going on I'm really kind of pumped about this one is the Juneteenth Jubilee. We've always had a Juneteenth celebration as a part of Rochester Fest, and this is actually even expanded out with a little bit more collaboration than it has been in years past. There's a couple different new groups involved in putting it on, and to me, that's one of the cool things that I think I've seen come out of last year was unique collaborations like this. So there's more entertainment. There's going to be some more things with food. They're going to have a stage out there. If you know how to do the Casper slide, you might want to check that out.
I've never even heard of that.
The cha-cha slide, I think they call it.
Okay.
Casper. Yeah.
Okay, interesting. Yeah. And so Rochester Fest is still at the Soldier Fields track, correct?
Yep. So the two events we just talked about are not technically produced by Rochester Fest. They're just a part of the Rochester Fest umbrella. So us as Rochester Fest, what we're doing is we didn't want to be left out and not do anything. So we have an AM 5K that we're doing with Family Service Rochester called Once Upon a 5K. And it's a little bit of a play off of their playhouse thing that they do. So you'll see some playhouses out on course. You'll see some bubbles and just some fun zones to run through. And that money is a split between Rochester Fest and Family Service Rochester. As far as any money we take in, we had a couple great partners that came in and allowed us to put it together. And then, I'm a glutton for punishment. So I said, if we're doing it once, why don't we do it twice? So we're doing a nighttime 5K called the Black Light Bubbler. So pretty self-explanatory there. It's black lights, it's bubbles. There's a DJ playing on stage when you get done. And that's a partnership with the Rochester Family Y. So we're excited to, both of these are nonprofit runs, and we're hoping to raise, we're not going to raise a whole bunch of money because we only were able to launch them about 3 weeks ago. But we did bring on enough partners that anything we do raise is money for each of these organizations.
And those playhouses, are those the ones that they have on display and people can
Yep.
win them or something?
Yep.
Okay.
Exactly. So they'll get moved from there into Soldiers Field, but just kind of a little bit more of a unique way of drawing some attention to it.
Yeah, the kids love touring those playhouses.
Mhm.
Those are super fun. And it's great that it's going to be supporting the family services and the Y as well, YMCA.
Yep.
Cool. Okay, so what are some new aspects of Rochester Fest that you have integrated, and has any feedback from community members that has been given to you been incorporated into the week-long event? Because I know we have quite a bit of dialogue going on, with events in the community.
Yeah. So a couple of the new things were obviously the 2 5Ks we just talked about. That's something we hadn't done before, is a part of kind of the kickoff. Another new thing that we're doing that did come from a lot of feedback from the community, came back from feedback from our board members, is we're activating a whole nother space at Soldiers Field, the west side of the track, called Family Fun Field, which is basically going to be an area that is activated to give the kids something more to do. There's going to be some inflatables. There's going to be mini golf. There's going to be Ring the Bell on Family Fun Day. There's going to be the train. So a whole bunch of different things like that. So activities for not only little kids, but a little bit older kids as well. That's where sports night takes place. But then the other reason that for me, I was really kind of passionate about doing it was that we can now take that space and also have a dedicated area for nonprofits to be able to activate. So whether it's a day, whether it's a week long, they want to come set down a tent, because you as a parent can attest to this, that if one of the kids is tugging at you and they want to go do this, well, you're probably not necessarily going to be in the bouncy house with them, but now you're a dedicated audience in front of an organization that might be, trying to get out information about what they're working on, what their passions are, how they're raising funds. So we've got groups like Red Drop Resources, we've got MACV, we've got 125 Live, we've got a whole host of different organizations, and we've kind of left it pretty open-ended. So even if somebody hasn't already, reached out to us and said, hey, can we come down and activate? It's an open space. It's for any nonprofit that wants to come down and help get the word out.
Yes, we have a little team of kids in our family, so we need to entertain them.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great. We'll have to check that out. Well, we all know that the pandemic definitely threw a curveball for a lot of things over the last year. The pandemic restrictions have lifted a bit, but some folks are still a little bit apprehensive about it. What are some ways that you're ensuring that safety precautions meets the needs while balancing the semblance of new normal?
So, the one thing that we have the advantage of is obviously we are a large outdoor space. And from all the calls, all during the pandemic, I sat in on calls with the Live Events Coalition, with the IAFE, and these are organizations that put on large, events and festivals. And the encouraging piece of information that I took out of that, and this is again tied back to, different health organizations that we worked with throughout this process, is that all of those outdoor events that took place, for example, down in Texas or Florida, the outdoor events were zero spreader events, and I think probably were far more diligent about some of the things that we did up here in our neck of the woods in Olmsted County, southeastern Minnesota specifically. So our advice is going to be the same as the CDC's. It's going to be the same as Olmsted County Public Health's. And that's that if you're not fully vaccinated, you should wear a mask. If you are, still that's kind of a personal choice. If I know I'm going someplace where that's a question, I'm fully vaccinated, I still wear a mask. That's my personal choice. It's tough for us to police it, but we're encouraging people to just be considerate of their neighbor. Don't be sitting right on top of somebody. Don't be, doing that stuff. And that's one of the things why, like I said, again, we have that nice advantage of having a more outdoor space. But again, we're trying to kind of balance that with actually being able to put on an event. So we don't have any hard restrictions in place. This is we have had this discussion with Olmsted County Public Health. It was myself and a few other bigger event organizers that had some stuff going on, and it was kind of like, well, you can, it was you do what you can or whatever, and we didn't have any real clear guidelines, and the final response was, everybody's saying we're open, so we're open. So again, if you're not comfortable yet, or you're not comfortable being out, we'd encourage you to stay home. If you're comfortable coming out, we'd encourage you to follow the guidelines. But we want everybody to stay safe, and we want everybody to also get out and have a good time at a level that they're comfortable with.
Now, I can't remember, Rochester Fest parade, did it happen last year?
It did not. So we did a drive-through parade in October, but the regular parade did not happen.
What's happening this year? Is it coming back?
It is. The parade is coming back. 1 second. Got somebody at my office door, so my apologies. So it is coming back. It's 2 p.m. Saturday, like it always has been. You're probably not going to see as many units in the parade, just because there are some that were
2 p.m. on the 26th or the 19th?
26.
Okay.
Yep. So it's the last Saturday of Rochester Fest.
Got it.
So we're working through, and we even took in another application yet this morning. So it's a lot of people that are kind of coming in last minute, but we had a lot of individuals or groups that they just either they didn't have staff coming out of a pandemic, weren't able to come back and do it, or just weren't at a comfort level. So you're probably going to see about a 75, 80 unit parade in comparison to what's normally a 100 unit parade.
Wow, is that how many? I've been in some of those, and they're quite fun. Hopefully the weather will not be too hot.
Well, my pal Judy Bratz is in charge of the weather, our Rochester Fest chair. So it is going to be sunny and 70 the whole week.
Well, that will be perfect.
For more information about this story and other Our Town features, connect with us on Facebook, Twitter at KSMQ #OurTown, or ksmq.org/ourtown.
Hi, this is Michael Wojak with your Our Town Rundown. It's been a tough 15 months. Last year we largely missed out on Rochester Fest, and this year Rochester Fest is back. It's that time of year, and the theme this year is Let's Reconnect. And isn't going to feel good to get out there and reconnect. There are events that go on from June 19th to June 27th. Some of the highlights of this weekend: there's a country breakfast on the farm Saturday morning. If you've never been out to see where some of our food comes from, it's a neat experience, and you get to meet some of your neighbors in a little bit different environment. There are a couple of different 5K runs that are going on, one that will benefit Family Service Rochester, and our newest federal holiday, or soon-to-be federal holiday, Juneteenth. Rochester has a Juneteenth celebration as well. Ours is going to be held Saturday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. and that is at Reverend Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Park, which is on the east side of downtown Rochester. A number of other events that are going on. There's a $1 million hole-in-one qualifier. There's movies in the parks. There's all sorts of entertainment and things for kids to do and the whole families to do. So take this opportunity to get out there, enjoy Rochester Fest, enjoy your community, and let's reconnect. Also going on this weekend, Love Letters is showing at the Rochester Civic Theater, and that is put on by the Repertory Theater. There's a couple of youth exhibits that are out. One that I would recommend that you give a shot to is there is a youth startup that is going on at Threshold Arts. In addition to that, if you're hanging out at Cafe Steam, you can also see an exhibit, and I hope I pronounced this right, called Metamorphosen at Cafe Steam, and that is an art exhibit by Ben Daniels. So that's just a little bit of what's going on. Look forward to catching you next time.
Okay, I like food trucks. Food trucks are amazing. You know, there are fan favorites for food trucks at Rochester Fest. Are there any new ones coming in, and how many taco trucks are there? We don't have much in food trucks. There are more food stands or more food vendors. Okay.
That's just kind of typically what happens at an event like this. We did open applications back up because we weren't at full capacity. We're at, typically we have around 24. We have about 20 stands this year. Like a couple of them, one of our pizza places, again, doesn't have the staff to come down and staff a week-long festival. But some of the favorites that, obviously cheese curds, people love their cheese curds.
Yes, they do.
We've got S&S Concessions is known for their mini donuts. So the mini donuts are back down there. We have a good amount of our local people as well. We have El Carambas is out there. We have Tasos Pasomas and his sons are going to be out there selling some euros. Obviously, they own Panacook. So it's mostly return vendors. The only new thing we have is we do have a different corn dog stand, I believe it is. And again, I'm trying to base off of what information I can look at from previous years, not being able to produce one of these yet. But that was kind of our big thing, is we were trying to really come back after not being operational for a year, come back and deliver everything pretty much the same way it was, not only because we thought that was a little bit of nostalgia, but also something that was maybe needed coming out of the pandemic. I still wanted to squeeze in a couple new things, hence the family fun field and the 5K runs. But for me, it's something where, we'll look at, not only myself, but obviously the board will look at, what things do work, and maybe we might look at changing some things moving forward. I've always been kind of a, I want to grow it. I want it to get bigger type of guy. That was actually even one of the things that I said in my interview, was that if you're looking for a status quo, I'm not it. I'm somebody that wants to see this thing grow and adapt. So we'll have some new digital technologies down there. So rather than banners, some of our partners will be able to, have some visuals up on an LED wall. So we're trying to just do some small things like that. And then again, from an operational standpoint, I've always been the guy attending it. I've never been the person running it. So we'll take a look at some of those things. And the board has been, very interested in looking at different things we can do. One thing I would like to bring back, probably won't happen this year, but 2022, something that used to be done was game show night. I'd really like to see that come back. I thought that was a lot of fun.
Let's talk about some of the entertainment.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Music is going to be there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so let's talk about music. Let's talk about, the game show. You mentioned that is not coming back, but what are some of the things in the lineup?
So we have music going pretty much every night, Monday on, and most nights we have 2 to maybe even 3 acts in the evening. Monday night we've got we've got some country music as a part of the ice cream social. We got Luke Hendrickson coming in to play with that. He was brought in by the ice cream social. I'm a big fan of Luke, so I think he's just a cool guy. The Tuesday night is Rochester Civic Music's bringing in their World Music Series, and they have some showcases and stuff like that. Sepharine's going to be playing on Tuesday night, and we have John Sievers and his group playing as well that night. Wednesday night we have Kids Have Talent, and I'm trying to look at my calendar here because I won't remember all of them right off the top of my head. McKenna, do we have a calendar?
And then also, there's the talent show, correct?
Yeah.
Is it for kids and adults?
Yeah, so we have,
Okay.
we're laying it out in 2 different ways. On Wednesday, can you just print one off for me when you get a chance? Wednesday we have
real life, man.
Yeah, it is.
We have to go grab the schedule.
And I'll get in trouble if I miss something.
Oh yeah, no.
So the Kids Have Talent is on Wednesday night because that's family fun night. And then we also have that karaoke contest as well on Thursday night. So we do have kind of a talent show for all ages. That I think that was kind of an important thing. And we've got a handful of different groups that I'm pretty excited about. And like I said, that was one of the big things is I really did want to kind of bring back a variety of different music and make sure that we always had something going on. Our daytime entertainment, our board president put together all of our noontime entertainment and has some really unique things with dance and instructional stuff and arts. So a lot of interesting things going on there. The one group that I'm really hoping that I actually am able to sit down and listen to, because I've done a couple shows with her and it seems like something always pulls me a different direction, is Lasagna's group. Just really pumped.
I've heard about her. I definitely
yeah. So her group Soul Train, and she's actually added in like a horn section and stuff like that. So I'm really kind of excited to see that. And then the Friday and Saturday, we obviously have some good variety bands. Friday, we have Pop Rocks. We have Time Machine on Saturday. So we've got a bunch of different good groups like that playing. And that full lineup is obviously out on our website as well. So a lot of different groups playing. Gene Peters and the Reunion Band, they're going to be back down there. And Gene's just such a good guy. Excited to have him back there as well. So a lot of different things for entertainment, a lot of different things to check out. So I think no matter what time of day you come down there, you're going to have something that you can do.
Are there any competitions? I know one year there was the hole-in-one.
Yep, So that and the $1 million hole-in-one is one of the few things that did actually go on last year, because obviously golf is something.
Did.
Yeah,
okay.
So
I think I need to do that one.
Yeah, so we're excited to have that back.
Golf.
Can you? I'm really good at driving a cart.
Yeah.
That's
where so that's still happening, which is good.
Yep, and that actually, so that's where one of the qualifiers starts on Saturday the 19th too. So there's different qualifiers throughout the week, with the actual $1 million hole-in-one shootout taking place Friday down at Soldiers Field Golf Course, and then we'll do an award ceremony and stuff up on our main stage.
Cool. Okay, really quickly again, we're coming back to that talent show. What's the people apply for that, and then they get selected to show off their talent?
Yeah, so the kids talent show is kind of just an on-site sign-up type thing, where if you got a kid like me that I think my daughter can sing, obviously I could be biased, but I still think she's got a voice. So I'd like to see her come down and do something like that. But it's just a sign up on site. It's ran by one of our board members, and so she'll be down there to help people sign up. So they just show up. There'll be a sign up table that they can come sign up their kids. Same thing with the karaoke contest on Thursday. There is technically a pre-registration online that you can find out on our website. I think they close the pre-registration tomorrow. They're just trying to get like a few sample videos out ahead of time. And again, when we started building that out, we were heading down that hybrid path. So I think we're going to see a lot of them that will still come down in addition on site. We've got a couple local area musicians and personalities that will help judge that karaoke contest on Thursday night. And that contest actually is something that if you do win, you can go on to a larger competition with them with that. So.
Well, that will be neat to see those. Okay, what are some ways that the community can get involved in Rochester Fest?
The biggest thing is just coming down to check it out. It's going to have a little bit different look to it. So come down and get involved and check out some of the groups that we have down there activating some of those nonprofits. I think that's kind of the big thing is, we're trying to use our city's festival as a way to help out others as well. And that's one of the things, again, I always joke that I have a limited skill set. So my limited skill set is in the event industry. So if I can take something with that and try to leverage it in a way that is helpful to others and helpful to other organizations, that's kind of the goal. So, that's the biggest thing, get out, our theme is obviously, about reconnecting, and that's what we want to see people do. We want to see them reconnect with their neighbors, their friends and family, and maybe meet some new people too. That's the big thing, I think, is what this city's supposed to be about, and what the city festival is supposed to be about, is just connecting with your friends and your neighbors.
Well, what better way to do that than at Rochester Fest? Brandon, thank you so much for being on the show.
Thank you for having me.
Awesome. Well, this is the last episode of Our Talent Podcast for the season, but we're excited about the upcoming season where, yes, your host, Nicole, returns. I'll be doing the Spotlight and Walkabout segments again. Michael is tasked with the rundown. And of course, Annie, amazing Annie, she'll be producing it as well. Thank you for tuning into Our Talent Podcast. This is Danielle Teal, your host, the KSMQ Public Television Show. You can also catch up with us on Facebook or Twitter at KSMQ #OurTown.
Let's go! Oh!